off the disassembling of the flood engine, which is going into the car. That's hopefully gonna power it. I'm actually looking at this engine here, and I'm looking for some kind of plan of attack and how I'm going to disassemble this. Just taking a quick look at it, I intend to label everything as I'm taking it off. It looks like I'm going to start with the electrical, and that first is going to entail unplugging the fuel injectors and which is held on by two hex screws and the coil over top. And then over here is the catalytic converter, and there's some more plugs here that I think is for the other catalytic converter, and this could be maybe a cam positioning sensor, I don't know yet. So that's on the one side. This looks like it's kind of oil, maybe pressure or water. No, probably oil, pressure, temperature sensor here. I'm not quite sure what this plug is. And then I'm gonna go on the other side here, and it's essentially the same. Here are my power steering lines. Again, here is the injector plugs, spark plugs. Down here is the catalytic converter, oxygen sensor, and over here is the other oxygen sensor. I intend to replace the oxygen sensors with the one from the broken engine, and then once I got most of the wiring, unplug it, tag it, and then I'm thinking this intake manifold should come off, which then is going to expose some other wiring that's underneath of it, or maybe I could pull the wiring out once I unplug it here, and then I'm going to see what else is in there on top. It doesn't look like a huge deal, but I want to ensure I document and tag everything, because this harness is no good, and I'm intending to put all the electrical system from the good car with a bad engine onto here. So that's my next step, I guess. So gonna hop right to it now. Hoppity hop hop. So I've gone ahead and labeled a few things here, like the coils, the firing order. I didn't tag the fuel injector plugs because they go with the coil. The oxygen sensor, cam, crankshaft sensors. I'm not totally sure yet how this comes off. I'm gonna now unplug all these things here. This fuel rail looks like it's actually attached to the intake, so ideally what it looks like, if I unplug everything here, unbolt the intake, should come off on this side. The other side there's some more stuff attached to it, so what I'm gonna start just unplugging everything here. Well, it would be nice if everything was working just fine on this, but I'm just gonna assume everything electrical on this car is just kaput. Firing order, engine pointing to the front is passenger side 1, 2, 3, front to back. Not in the manual, FYI. So I just undid all the coil packs. Now I'm going to unplug fuel injectors. 1, 2, and 3. Sensor here, I'm assuming. This looks like a 1977 Rabbit. Just a regular old freaking wire plug on top of a little sensor here. Like, wow, this looks so primitive, but man, I guess it works. As I'm going along here, I'm also going to be taking some pictures so I know when I reassemble this engine where things go. I kind of want to make sure everything goes back in the right spot. Just learning how to unplug these clips. Ooh, these are nice clips. Okay, so
what is wrong with the good engine? Have we figured out the source of the problem?
yes, I know what the problem is with the good engine. It's the intermediate shaft bearing.
Is that all?
Big deal, actually. In a nutshell, I had to rebuild the entire engine. Oxygen sensor. Just gonna let this come off. It's just slide it on.
That's transco car, right?
Yeah. So that's out. I was incorrect. I cannot fish the coil through here. It looks like I have to remove. So I'm gonna move on here, move along here, and I am just gonna start unplugging stuff. I've already labeled. So this is the oxygen sensor on the right side of the car. Unplugs on here, doesn't it?
So it's a hefty engine.
What's that?
It's one nice engine.
Yeah.
There's two nice engines.
Yeah. Only one works. Well, I don't know if anyone who works. This is a camshaft sensor here. Just squeeze that and wiggle it apart. So you got that. Good to have a good reference point when I'm reassembling. I better be looking at too many pictures than not enough. And this here is some kind of crankshaft sensor. It goes to the flywheel here. That helps start the car. I am actually over labeling here, but I don't care. Let's take this ground off here. Okay, so everything here. Oh, there's another sensor here. And I'm gonna wiggle it loose. There you go. It's good to label these plugs because you know what? They all look the same. Camshaft sensor, and this is some kind of sensor. Maybe just tag this sensor beside air oil separator. Nothing's wrong.
What do you have to do?
I have to take all this stuff off, and I have to figure out how.
How? Because
the book doesn't tell you exactly how, in what order it comes off, so I kind of have to teach myself. There's coolant lines, wires, vacuum hoses.
how much would it cost to get somebody else to fix it?
Well, I'm doing this.
No. I'm just wondering, like, how much money it would cost.
Oh, thousands and thousands of dollars.
And you're doing it for free, kinda.
Well, I'm kind of learning and teaching myself and kind of trying to figure this out myself. Why?
You can't expect the video you're posting to get thousands of views either.
I'm not. I'm expecting nothing. I'm expecting to post these videos. The intention is not to get endless amounts of views. The objective of this exercise is so people have an opportunity to go on YouTube and get this information if they choose to use it. That's kind of what I'm doing here. This is for people to do what I'm doing here. I'm figuring it out. It's not rocket science. There's many things, but rocket science.
It's car science.
It's car science, and it's not that difficult, really. It's not. So I'm gonna take this air oil separator off somehow. I can figure. I don't want to break this here. So I can figure out how these clips here work. This one here. So you squeeze it and just pull it off. Yeah, look at that. So
I know one thing that you should organize it in chronological order.
now I shall remove the air oil separator doohickey bobber. These are pliers. Get me a pair of general purpose. Oh, actually, I need needle nose pliers for this. Just get off and walk. Get what size? The biggest needle nose pliers are in there on the left side. Biggest on the left side. And put them back where you found them. There's an order.
These.
Yes, these. I don't like when things are misplaced. Okay, Jordan. Can you write on here air oil separator line? Air oil separator line. Look at you, Jordan. You probably never used this before.
Yeah.
This ratchet. Okay. So turn out to knock the camera. These two bolts here. Right here. Take this off. Got your Lucy right tidy, right, buddy? Mm-hmm. Are you recording this? Okay. Both of them. So you know what? What you do is take this off, and then use this as your hand fingers to get them off. It's a never-ending bolt. Okay, so now it's loose. I shall be taking this line off here. So move this here, push these tabs together and wiggle it loose. There's a hose clamp up there that I shall squeeze. Hose. Can you do me a flavor, Jordan? And point that camera with the flashlight down there so we can get a good like this. I'm gonna move this hose aside. I have no idea what's gonna come out of this. Is there oil coming out of this? I have no idea. I don't know what that does, except separate the oil. So now I'm gonna just wiggle that loose like this, and boom, just like that, air oil separator doohickey is out. So I'm looking at this intake manifold, and I'm thinking that I'm gonna separate it and bolt the intake manifold here at the top of the cylinder head, and separate the airflow sensor lines here, and this kind of come out separately. That's maybe what I'm gonna do, and that way I'll have some room underneath to work on it. It's gonna come off regardless, so I might as well. And I have my trusty 7mm socket here. This is not looking promising. Oh, I may be wrong. Maybe it's promising. Just to slide over, pretty easy. Oh yeah, very easy. Okay, good. This side of the intake is now separated from these lines here. There's a fuel line that goes across from the left to the right. I'm afraid if I take that hose off, I'm gonna have fuel leaking all over the place. I'm trying to avoid that. So, therefore, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 10mm nuts, bolts. No, maybe there's 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Makes more sense. There's 6 bolts holding intake manifold on now. It is 10. So I'm going to loosen them, but not actually take them off just yet. Also unbolt the rail. 1 bolt, 2 bolt. That doesn't really work because the injectors are all connected to the rail. If I take a rail off, then all the wires will come out. Let's try that. Looks like this just pulls out. Nothing just pulls out, does it? Let's give this a try. I'm just rimming. This is not what I wanted to do. But the injectors just came right out. Let's see if this comes out. This might be a bad idea. Because if anything falls in there, I'm in big doodah. Clean the surface here and make sure nothing falls in here. Like nothing. And I'm gonna put some tape on top. Hope it sticks actually. Take a bit of brake cleaner here. Spray it on a rag and just clean the surface here. Valves look clean, like no carbon buildup. Wow, well, maybe I'm wrong. It's not too bad, but there's a little bit of something in there and I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to turn the engine over actually. Some fouled up stuff in here. Let's turn the engine. Well, all the valves are working. That's a good sign. I'm still going to continue taking everything off. Then I'm going to just debris in there and one of the valves on cylinder 2. Just at the base of the valve. I can't really make out what it is. Flood, maybe some water got in there and there's some crud in there, but these valves are super clean. These ones are a little bit dirtier, but it's promising. Moving to the right side of the engine, I'm gonna move forward with carbon copy of the left side, or at least close to it. I'm gonna start off by taking the coil packs off. Oxygen sensor, I'm gonna unplug them. There's a temperature sensor here. Taking off the intake manifold and the fuel rail. Some plugs here that I also need to take care of. And I think there's some vacuum hoses and some more lines under here. So I'm just gonna slowly move my way to it. On this side I have to deal with my power steering lines. Again, I've labeled all the coils, and I just happen to also do the same thing on the top of the cam cover. Why? I don't know, just because. I am sure these coil packs, or whatever you want to call them, are fine, but why chance it when I don't have to? So I'm going to take them all off. Bolts, put them in a little baggie, put them in the bag, I'm going to label them, put them on a pile of the other stuff. Oxygen sensor here, unplugs, just leave it hanging there, and it just kind of take a screwdriver and it just slides out. Oxygen sensor, again, I've already labeled all these. Maybe you have a photographic memory and you don't need to label any of these things if you're lucky. Okay, oxygen sensor coils are removed. I have no idea what it's for, but I'm going to unplug it and I'm going to label it. And it goes to a vacuum canister on here. Okay, that looks good. There's this sensor here that I unplugged. There's some vacuum lines going to it, so I'm just gonna slide that up, leave it hanging in there. Moving toward the front of the engine, there is some kind of temperature sensor. Again, I'm just gonna open this cable clip here and bring the cable out. And again, just push the lever here, the thingy with bobber, and unplug it. Easy. And here we have what looks like another cam sensor. And same thing, just kind of pull the little tab there, push it, and just wiggle it loose. And then I am sliding this cable out of the clip here. So that's all loose now. And there's a ground here. I'm also going to remove that ground, and that ground actually bolts onto the power steering bracket, which I'm just gonna leave here. I'm not a Porsche mechanic and I don't have memorized where all this stuff goes. So okay, now looks like everything necessary is unplugged here. There's one more plug here, which is a sensor, which I think is over here too. Yep. This is that sensor. I could be wrong, but it looks like potentially you could use either head on either side of the engine. I could be wrong, it just looks like it. Looks like there's a plug here for the oil air separator. That cover here for the variocam, I think it is. So we kind of swap it to the other side. It looks like it will fit, but I'm not going to try that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to loosen the intake manifold bolts and remove the fuel rail bolts. There's some lines that go through here. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's that same plug on this side with a little sensor on the other side, so I'm gonna take that off, and I have to sort of investigate, see what kind of plug what that sensor that is. I'm labeling that one for sure because the one that plugs into the cam sensor looks exactly like it. I can only see that adding to confusion when putting the car back together. You see this? So there's just a little bit of build-up the base of the valve, which seems like I can get that very easily. This one is like spanking clean, and this one is just as clean, so I don't see an issue here whatsoever. Engine's gonna run or not. So I have faith. I have faith that it'll run just tickety-boo over. And then, so this is just hanging there, that's fine. So I have to, there we go. Oh yeah, yeah, nothing to it. Everything over here is loosey-goosey. We have the coils, oxygen sensor plugs, it's a cam plug, reverse switch. This is a reverse switch is laying over here. Then we have the sensor here. There is this mystery plug up here. No, this is the temperature sensor right here. This is the cam sensor. It goes here, cam sensor. And this is the mystery plug here, right? And the ground that goes here. We got that. So that, obviously, fuel line in. The vacuum line, I also tag a vacuum line. This is the fuel line that goes all the way across. You have the same basic thing here. So this is for the fan. This is for the air injector pump. Let's try the right side. You have the oxygen sensors, the coils. This is the main harness here. And then I'm following it here. So there's a clip here. And then it looks like there's some wiring that's going to go to the alternator, the ground, starter, 2 plugs here. And it's the mass airflow sensor goes over there too. That kind of runs under the oil inlet line here. This is the dipstick here that I broke on the other car, which I have to, yeah, not happy about that. I'm sure you can buy that. Okay, I'm gonna take some pictures and I'm gonna mosey on. Air breather oil thing has to go in first. Not very first, but it's got to be up there. And here we have fuel rail, coils, plugs, the whole shebang. It looks like super simple. Like it doesn't look even complicated. And here's the starter cable. I don't want to say it looks like nothing, but it doesn't look very impressive. But it's put in there rather well. I can only hope I can put the new one on just as nice. Well, that's it for today. Tomorrow I shall remove the alternator. Whatever that thing is, looks like a vacuum pump of some sort. Move all this stuff. Starter's coming out, oil cooler's coming out. Hopefully I'll have time to get to the clutch, flywheel, take that off. Oil pump's coming out, and I might as well not use this power steering pump. What's the point? I'm just asking for problems. That's tomorrow. Right now I'm going to bed. Well, not quite, but soon.